What is up, sluts? Welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, not very high energy today, just a very chill video rating numbers. So hopefully it's fun. I've been having a tough week, so maybe this will cheer me up, and I'm just gonna give my unbiased opinion about numbers in the English language. So let's go. You know we have to start off with the number zero. Number zero is not an offensive number, very easy to write. It's not really too fancy, it's very simplistic. So I'd have to give it probably. It's cool, but it's not sexy. It's a very cool number just because it's easy to write. Number one, the number one is kind of controversial. Personally, I'm a straight number one kind of guy. I'm not that fancy. See this one right here? I'm not really feeling that too often. So I'd have to say I'm more of a horizontal line, straight line kind of guy. So I have to say also cool, very easy to write. Let's go on to the next one. If you write your number one like this, write down in the comments and say, oh, I write my number ones the fancy way. Say that because you are a fucking pretentious person and I hate you. I don't actually hate you. This number one, it takes so much time. It takes so much time to write. Let me just show you the directions of how to write one of these number ones. Yes, this is a plate. I was eating a burrito. This is how you draw a fancy number one. You go up, and you go down, and you do this. You're an asshole. You're not an asshole. You're you suck. You don't suck. If you write them like this, just do this. It takes a second. Just do that. Just do. Look. You think you go. Okay. That's how. See that? Easy. Wait. Read it. See the difference between those two times. It is not that hard just to write a normal number one. Hey, it's Mozzie from the future. It's a 32 millisecond difference, so yeah, I don't think it really matters that much. But my answers are final. This tier list is final. Nothing is changing. Everything I said is true and factual. It is more efficient, but not that, but not by that much. Bye. So that's why we're gonna be putting number one in the lowest tier. Cause you just don't need to do it. I would go back and just tell them don't even do this. All right. So number two is also very easy one. I'd say a beauty about all these numbers is that they're very simple. There's not a lot of steps to it. It's always just one motion. So the ones that kind of take a little bit more than that are going to be rated a little bit lower just because it takes more time, not as efficient, not my kind of way of being, you know? All right, next one. So we got the number three. I will say the number three is my lucky number. I'm not very much a spiritual person, but I do see the number three popping up quite a lot. So in my unbiased opinion, it's also just a very easy number to write. The number four, now this is another number that has multiple uses. I don't know why anybody really decided to give it more than one like figure. So we have two figures right here. We have the closed-ended four and then the open-ended four. Personally, again, I'm more of a simple guy. I like the open-ended four quite a lot. So that's gonna have to go. I'd say it's really cool and it's also very sexy just because it's very simple. It's also a very creative number. You kind of look at this and you can really get a lot from it. The closed-ended four, not so much. I'm also gonna have to put that down here, sadly, just because I don't know. It's just not up to my standards, you know. Number five. Okay, so here's another dilemma I have. The number five and the number six are very close to each other. Like they're not only are they close to each other by distance, they're also very close as in how they look. But I would have to say that the number five does have a little bit more creative liberty when it comes to the little curve up here. Unlike the six, it's a lot more not a right angle, but it's a lot more of a straight edge right there. So I'd have to give the number five sexy and cool. So now we can go on to the number six. I would have to put it in the beta numbers. It's just not where five is, and I don't think it's that cool. Just because it's trying to be something it's not. Problem as six is it's just trying to be something that's not trying to compare itself to both kind of a combination of 4 and 1. So I think that would also have to be. I'd have to put it numbers I'd rather not look at, just because it's not really, it's just an upside down L, really. It's a one that is a slightly longer and just doesn't have as much character. I'd actually say this number 1 has more character and has more creativity to it than the number 7. So I'll have to move the 1 up there. And then we're gonna come to 8, and I think a common thing you might have noticed is as we go higher in the number chain, these numbers aren't as creative, I guess. Like this one is just two zeros put on top of one another. But if you do cut it in half, you get a 3. So it has a lot of variety to it. It has a lot of possibilities. So I would have to give it. I'd say it's pretty. I'd say it's up there. I'd say it's one of the more cool and more sexy numbers. Ooh, and then we have 9. Oh, this is gonna be a little tough. Okay. So here, I think okay. I don't want this to be a biased tier list, but I, I'm just it speaks for itself. What can I say? It speaks for itself. I do think it's an old joke though. I think it's an old joke. I don't even have to say what it is. You know what it is. I think it stays. I think it should stay there. It's not that great. It's not that bad. It has been run down to the ground, kind of. Actually, it has very well been. But I think that's where 6 and 9 are gonna go to. And then we're gonna end off this tier list with the number 10. I think the reason I end the tier list here is just because all the numbers after that are just copies of previous numbers that I've already rated, so there would not be much of a point. But I would have to put 10 in between both 0 and 1. Just I feel like that's just right. But yeah, I think if I'm looking at everything here, I think this is my numbers tier list. At least my English numbers tier list. Let me know down in the description if you want to see more. But yeah, I think this is pretty much what I'm working with here, and I hope you agree. And if you don't agree, please put it down in the comments below. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me. Just giving a little insight into numbers and what I think about them. Doesn't matter what I think about them really, but if you're here and you watched it, thanks, because God knows that the only one watching me is goodbye.